Welcome back to Franco Fridays. I've got a relatively recent film for Franco. This is one of I guess, the last 5 to 10 films that he did in his career. This is 2000's Blind Target, Sub Rosa Production, which is an independent production company. The film actually was started in 1997. It was kind of shot alongside of Maria Cookie and the Tarantula and Lust for Frankenstein, but because of production troubles, significant production troubles, it was shot over stages. So it started in 97, then they came back in Colombia, and then they came back and shot it some more in 99, and finally finished it up in 2000 in Spain. The film stars Rachel Shepard, who plays a girl named Maria. And the role was originally designated for Michelle Bauer, Scream Queen Michelle Bauer, but due to production problems in 97, couldn't get it finished with her, so they brought in Rachel Shepard. Rachel Shepard is she was originally born in this Latin American place called San Hermosa, and she immigrated back to immigrated to the United States and became a famous author. She goes back and visits San Hermosa in her home country, and now this San Hermosa is being run by a fascist dictator. And her books have been outspoken in their hatred for fascist dictators, so she's under suspicion by the government. Maria's ultimately kidnapped and tortured by government agents headed up by Lena Romay. Lena Romay plays a government agent that trying to suppress anyone that has a voice against the government. And so they've targeted this girl, and they use her in a kind of a spy espionage plot that gets kind of convoluted is the best description for it as the film goes along. It also stars Leanna Quigley, who plays a reporter in the film. She has a limited role in the film, but she does pretty good. It's one of those films that is reminiscent of, say, the Red Lips trilogy. It's kind of a reboot of a spy espionage film with the two. Basically, you've got Rachel Shepard playing Maria, and she has lesbian tendencies. Let's face it. She gets involved with this girl that's also part of a spy ring, and it's all getting kind of embroiled in this fascist little Latin country dictatorship. It gets very convoluted quickly. It was shot on 35 millimeter, according to the behind the scenes extras, but it looks like it's shot on video. It's a very cheap production. A lot of the things that we like about Franco as far as cinematography and settings are lost in this film. It's also got a lot. The acting is extremely tepid. And the storyline, unfortunately, is just not enough to hold your interest. There's a lot of bad acting, quite honestly, and there's a lot of bad action. You've actually got at one point this martial arts battle that goes on that's really badly choreographed, horrible. I mean, I guess they tried to instill some spy espionage, martial arts fighting type action in it, but it looks so amateurish. It's just terrible. Not one of Franco's better efforts, unfortunately. I can only recommend this to a hardcore Franco fan. Now, there's a commentary. There's actually a documentary on this film that I'm going to watch and talk about on a subsequent Franco Fridays. I'm interested in seeing that. But, as far as the film itself, this was really kind of a mess. And it's probably, a lot of it has to do with the fact that It took multiple years to finish with multiple different actors being brought in and then replaced because they couldn't finish the film. That probably didn't help matters. But as far as one of Franco's films, this one really, if I didn't know this was a Franco film, there's nothing in it that would tell me that this is a Franco film. This just looks like a really bad independent spy thriller by an amateurish production company with none of the directing elements that we've come to know and love with Franco. Now, that's kind of harsh, I admit, but there are two scenes in this that remind you that we're watching a Franco film. There's a scene at the opening when two women are talking to each other, and it's kind of backlit at night with a blue backlight. That was pretty cool looking. And then, of course, you've got the obligatory lesbian scenes and naked women scenes. It's not gratuitous, but you do have that. So that reminded me that, hey, we're still in the Franco territory. And I think the social commentary, clearly Franco's taking a major poke now that he's old enough and history is behind him to take a poke at fascism and totalitarianism. That's clearly evident in this film. It's definitely a statement film about anti-fascism, anti-dictatorships. But it's really just a Red Lips, a modern reboot of the Red Lips films. It's a shame that Michelle Bauer didn't get the lead role. I would have loved to have seen her and Leanna Quigley team back up. That might have made it pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, Rachel Shepard is a pretty tepid actress, and quite honestly, the rest of the cast of unknowns, with the exception of Leanna Quigley, put a pretty tepid performance on screen. So I have a hard time recommending this, but I had a duty to watch it as part of my goal to watch all the Franco films that I can get my hands on and do a review of them. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up for Blind Target. The target is clearly missed with this one. But if you're a Franco fan, it certainly deserves being checked out. There's a 4-set film DVD set of called Deviant Lust, the Franco collection, which includes this film, Maria Cookie and the Tarantula, and I think that might be the way to go to check this film out, is to buy that 4-pack. Although I don't know, I'm not sure where you can get it. It came out in 2010, and I think it's hard to get now. Otherwise, you can just buy this individual DVD if you're really interested in the film. So yeah, that's Blind Target, 2000 Franco film, and appreciate you watching. Thanks.